Hello everyone, welcome back to Studemia, another tutorial. In this short tutorial we are going to take a look how we can use TACACS Plus, which is one of the widely used AAA server in the networking industry. And in the short tutorial we are going to take a look how we can configure TACACS Plus and how to use this in the Cisco packet tracer environment. So this is all the details we are going to take a look in this short tutorial. So let's jump on it. So as I said, so what is the TACACS? So TACACS is commonly used protocol. TACACS is a pretty advanced protocol. It's developed by Cisco. It's developed by Cisco in the earlier protocol like TACACS and XTACACS. So Cisco made an enhancement of this TACACS Plus server. So in this packet tracer, a short video tutorial, we are going to take a look how to configure packet tracer, how to create a username, and also how we can create a password to newly administrator to log into the Cisco the router and switches and firewall. So what is TACACS anyway, right? So TACACS stands for Terminal Access Controller, Access Control System, and the plus, as I say, whenever you see the plus, this is from the Cisco. It's developed by, so it utilizes the TCP protocol, which is compared to the Radius, because Radius utilize UDP protocol, is not secure. So Terminal Access Controller System, which is TACACS, as I discussed, that is it gives you three things: authentication, authorization, and accounting, plus security. So as you can see my screen, the protocol type is a AAA, and TACACS utilize TCP, Transmission Control Protocol. The port number is utilized 49, and it's encrypt the entire body of the packets and offering more security compared to the Radius server. So as you can see, the usage is commonly used for network device administration access, and the integration support primary for Cisco devices for TACACS Plus. If you have a non-Cisco devices, you have to rely on Radius. So why we use TACACS, right? So as I mentioned, we use for three things, like a AAA that we all heard this name in the security training. So first of all, we do for authentication. So we wanted to determine who the user is. That's the number one. Number two, the authorization, determine what the user can do once they log into the Cisco router, switches, firewall, right? The third thing, we wanted to know the accounting, keeps track of the what user does. So whatever user types all the command line, everything is going to be logged, right? So that's the accounting functionality. So that's combined is together AAA server. So now let's take a look at the lab topology, how it look like, what we are going to configure. As you can see, I do have a the same lab topology. In my topology, I do have a Cisco router. Is going to be Studemia RTR. So Cisco router is going to be my client, and the TACACS server need a client. So you see the packet tracer, once you go AAA in the highlighted portion, just type the client name, which is Studemia RTR. That's the router name. And you have to give them client IP address. In my case, 10.10.10.1, that's the router IP address. And you have to provide the secret, which is my secret, right? You can choose any secret you want, but whatever secret you choose in the AAA server, you have to configure same secret in the Cisco router. If this secret doesn't match, it's not going to work. So server type, I'm going to choose TACACS, and then I need to put add. So as soon as I add, you see that client name is Studemia RTR, client IP, TACACS, protocol, and the key. And I'm going to remove the user session. I'm going to create a new user. So in my case, I'm going to choose the username is Akhil, and then I'm going to choose the password for Akhil to log into the routers, right? So I'll choose password 123. You can choose whatever you want. And once you do that, that's the pretty much you need to configure in Cisco packet tracer for TACACS configuration. So then I'm going to cross it out, and once you cross it out, and as you can see, then you can go any client and log in utilizing the newly created username, which is Akhil, and the password. But now we need to know what need to be configured in the lab section in the Cisco routers, right? So routers, you need a 3-parameter AAA. So let's set it up first, our router configuration, which is hostname. Set the hostname for the routers. That's the step number one, which is our Studemia RTR. And then we're going to enable AAA new model, and then we are going to add these two parameters. triple authentication login and triple authentication enable default group. That's our TACACS plus server group. And plus local means if this TACACS server fail, the local username password is going to kick in. So the second option, we have to set it up for authorization. So triple server, what would be the parameter for authorization, right? So that's the second portion. Authorization is going to exactly tell you, as you can see, the command 15, that's the highest level of privilege in Cisco router, right? You saw the previous video when I configure SSH. I have explained there. So that's the authorization configuration. So next step we have to do for accounting. So accounting is optional if you wanted to do in the TACACS plus server or not. So even though it's optional, but I just choose accounting exact default. So and then as you can see, the command is 15 because this is also highest level privilege of Cisco command prompt. If you want, you can choose command 10 or 9 or 12. So based on your needs, in your organization needs, you can do it. And then last, we need to specify the server and the key. So TACACS server host 10.10.10.100. So as you can see in my key, and also the last thing I need to do, the line VTO is 0 to 4. You can define line VTO on 0 to 15 if you want. It's up to you how many virtual terminal you needed. And login authentication is going to be default, as you can see my screen. So that means I'm not using the login local, which is I did in the SSH configuration previously. And lastly, you need to add, this is optional, it's not required. If you want, if you can add it. If in case the TACACS server is not available, that's the fallback password you can create. This is the optional. So now if we put everything together, and that's your final configuration for TACACS plus, you need it to properly configure. So this is the short tutorial video, so you can watch this video and you can try to configure in the Cisco packet tracer, and that will give you the full detailed understanding of TACACS plus and also TACACS. This is two different things, right?